Well, thank you very much. We've got Cohan and Jim Buchan for joining me on MolksTVTalk. Guys, thank you. We're just fresh off the back of A&E, launching for Foxtel in Australia. And look, I have to say, as a consumer and someone that is an avid TV watcher, I'm really excited about the launch of the product. I think that the way it's being branded, the way it's being put together is really smart and really going to hit hard on a man cave demographic.
Thank you for that.
Sean, your involvement in this, you kind of have a little bit of influence. How do you fit into the picture?
Well, so my team and I manage A&E Networks as a company. A&E Networks channels, their brands, our content around the world. And so in there is history, is crime, is bio, some channels that you may have heard of, and as well as A&E. And as a matter of fact, A&E is the first channel that our company launched in the U.S. back in the early 80s. So this is, anytime that we launch an international, there's a kind of a special significance to it. I think you mentioned at the outset that just how excited you were and how good the brand looks and so on. I think some of that, I'd like to think, is the testament to, it's 25, 30 years of great work, an evolution getting to this point, in the States and elsewhere. And I would say a lot of that is a testament to the hard work and the great creative work of Jim and the rest of the team at Foxtel, who are our local partners, are the custodians of our brands, and really they do some tremendous work in making, driving, and kind of forging or making sure that the brands cut through. Let's just say.
Thanks. Well, Jim, it's fitting into the local picture, working for Foxtel. A&E, what does it mean for you?
It's an exciting moment for us. This is unlike CI, history and bio. It's in HD. It's an attitude brand.
Yes.
As we're explaining to people, this is all the character-driven content, the occupational risk takers and the fortune hunters all in one channel. So we're taking all of this kind of content that's performing so well, driving growth in the US and placing it on one brand. A&E hasn't been here before. We don't have the drama the US channel has, but we are creating a very strong brand that will have massive cut through because it is an attitude brand and it'll transcend demographic for that reason. And we have Mega Truckers, our own local production.
Absolutely.
And we've got plenty of characters in this country that speak to these occupational risk takers. They're pioneering, self-driven people, and I think audiences will relate to that. Certainly our factual entertainment audience. So this completes our offering, our suite of channels. CI, bio, and history. They've got their loyal audiences, and again, they've got very clear, distinct propositions.
Yes.
This is just more about attitude, and we expect a lot from this channel. Right?
Yeah, I mean, I would just add, you mentioned the local production. I think part of, we're really excited about this event. Part of the reason we brought 3 executives down here from our international group is, it's such a big milestone for us in 12. So it's one of the most important launches for us. Part of the reason, again, segueing back to your local, is that what you've done with our other channels, we expect, and what we've done, together with our other channels, is take some great, really banker, tremendous raters of U.S. and global content, and match it with some really compelling local content. In this case, take great larger-than-life characters from the U.S. and from other markets, and as you said, match them, or and I think there are some great characters down here, frankly, including yourself. But match them with the same, not only the same size of characters, not only the same kind of extraordinary circumstances, but also very similar production values, very similar quality.
Yeah.
And that's again a testament to, I think, what we do together and why we together have been successful with our suite of channels in Australia, and why we expect this channel, the kind of real life character-based, authenticity-oriented vehicle that it is, to be really successful.
Do you think that, that's part of the benefit for us in Australia, Jim, that we get to have the benefit of America and the content that is generated? There is a lot of content, but you're lucky with A&E. It's not just picking through dross. You get to get some great titles.
Yes.
Ice Road Truckers, You know, we're bringing in things like storage wars, porn stuff.
Yeah, you know,
some
it's
great content.
Swamp People,
And we get to match that.
Yes.
Billy the Exterminator, Doug the Bounty Hunter. I mean, I'm sorry, going to steal your thunder for 2 seconds. It's one of the things when you look at the titles in the schedule and the titles in the media guide, and you run down what are the top shows in nonfiction U.S. cable and nonfiction, or around the world. We generally call it pay TV, so nonfiction pay around the world. And it's really, Pawn Stars #1, American Pickers #3, Storage Wars #4, Swamp People #8. You have Billy and Dog and others that are again like it's an embarrassment of riches, really, in terms of the success and the you're wearing a Yankees cap. It's like, I think it's the murderer's row of factual TV today.
Totally reasonable.
Yeah, so this channel, we've pulled these together deliberately. It's no accident. These will have the six highest rating driving franchises from the US giants. So we're pulling together this sort of uber, version of A&E that, for our market, that's going to really talk to viewers that love this content, and selected on that occupational risk, character-driven content. And A&E Networks are the best at it, and we've got it all on one channel, and that's the strength. And you'll always see the series first exclusively on this channel, and that'll increase so going forward. And that's what Foxtel's proud of, developing these strong brands that are going to resonate with viewers.
Definitely, and look, you're right about the character thing. I mean, if we look at Australian characters locally, John Kelly and Megatron, launching the network on Thursday night, they almost, not lots, but they seemingly don't come much bigger than John and his trucks and his guys and the jobs that they do. I mean, that just sits right in the middle of that.
It does.
An excellent example of the programming that Foxtel Australia can bring to offer local content in the mix of this great American content.
Absolutely, and these characters, Australia and America have a lot in common in this regard. We've got that pioneering spirit, the similarities between the people we have. I think audiences identify with this content for similar reasons, because we have characters like this in our own
frontiersmen.
And that is the thinking. These are relatable people. These are can-do, pull yourself up by your bootstraps. Best of kind. And I think viewers will relate to that. And Sean was saying authentic. That's very Australian. We cut down people who are fake.
We have great bullshit detectors.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's what this is about, and I think that's what's rating in the US. There's this sort of zeitgeist. I know producers use this word a lot, but that it's what's occurring in the world as well as in the content. This real kind of character-driven content is what audiences, want to watch now. They've seen a lot of the, scripted and processed stuff, and this is factual entertainment at its best.
Yeah, I think when you talk about authenticity, when you talk about kind of real life, these are key words for us in the brand DNA. Whether you're talking about Australia, America, Canada, Latin America, one of the great things about when you see the look of the channel and the if you will, the wrapping around the channel is that I think we do a pretty good job, and you guys have translated it well, of communicating that authenticity or relaying that in a look. And in how we communicate around the channel, in the kind of whether it's QR, whether it's in print, it's perhaps a little grittier.
Yeah.
It's a little bit less, at times a little bit less VO. It's a little bit less kind of polish to it, and it's more raw, really raw and real. And I think that's one of the things for me as I've seen what the look really take shape down here and really mirror, frankly, what we do with the brand and lots of other places. It hangs together very well with, of course, it would hang together with the content that we're working together to bring here, but also hangs together with the content that you are and will do locally.
Yeah.
we're seeing a lot of factual, this factual content, factual drama stuff, start to really rise in popularity.
Sure.
At least the Australian network, I'm sure.
No, I think it's a global phenomenon.
Is that, I was going to ask, from a US perspective, is that reflective of what's happening there? Is it
Yes.
that we've had our mouthful, our gutful of reality and air? I mean, it's still existing.
Yes.
But its popularity is on the wane versus the factual content.
Well, so it's interesting. So you're differentiating between reality and factual?
Absolutely.
Yeah. I think there's probably so I would start with, I think, global TV. There's probably a couple of things happening, and then maybe you can unpack to talk about the Australian experience and also what you see as a buyer in a sense.
Absolutely.
So first, I think on a lot of levels it's the golden age of television, right? If you start on the drama side, which we're not talking about today, it's not particularly A&E here in Australia, but we do have a long history of and a great track record of drama on A&E elsewhere. There's more drama being produced, there's more being invested, there's more. I mean, across networks, not just ours, but lots of different networks who, for the first time, are producing great drama. And A-list TV, A-list stars, and it's not. We shouldn't even say increasingly. A-list stars look at the TV as a very viable, as a strong vehicle for to carry their work. I mean, and have been for the last 10 years. So it's the golden age of television on the drama side, investing more, doing more, and there's lots of it, which is great as a viewer, right? I think. Alongside that, there's a really interesting thing happening. We'll get to kind of differentiating fact and with reality, and and how you kind of mark that difference. But what you're also seeing is factual entertainment shows really driving record type ratings in a way that historically either real life or even back in the day the old-fashioned doco never did. And those record ratings are actually on par or better than a lot of these very quality dramas out there. So it's this really thing where it's like, and often at a price point that may be to produce, which are they're higher than they used to be, but it's nowhere near, it doesn't cost anywhere near as much as as drama. My observation, my take on it. So, but yet these the Pawn Stars in the States doing a 7.7 million viewers, right? Now, recently, I think it was another network. Well, I'll name it. It's AMC in the States did 8.1 with Walking Dead, and it was giant news. But think about that. Think about that upper stratosphere of numbers, and The Walking Dead. That is going to be news for weeks. Most dramas are punching well below that, and and of course most factual shows aren't doing 7.7, but for example, Pawn Stars in the States is averaging 6.2 million in 2012.
If you don't mind.
Yeah, so and that's just, I'm using the U.S. because that's top of mind, but I think it kind of bears itself out around the world. So I think the first thing is you factual more popular than it's been back then. More rating better than in a lot of cases the classic general entertainment drama fare. Now, when you get into the kind of which factual is working, well, that's maybe where you get to the kind of authentic real life stuff versus maybe the more contrived reality. I don't know if I'd want to make the statement that the contrived reality is on the decline, but I would say to you that I would contend that the authentic, real life, very bigger, larger than life characters, and it's the viewer being as sophisticated as they are, the things that they really can see or kind of they can relate to, that's really, really doing the business. That's really captivating the viewer. And so that's the long-winded way. I think, it's like I'm saying, it's a great time in TV. We are, a lot of us are producing great TV, and I think factual is maybe ground zero for some of the quality and some of the change that's coming out. But what would you say on top of that?
I think, generally speaking, just television viewers have become a little bit more, they've been consuming all this kind of ob-doc, factual, there's so much more of it that the viewers are consuming it being more discerning of it now. So back in the day, if you look at shows like observational shows like Big Brother or whatever, they were scoffed at, but then they pulled in numbers. But it sort of lowered the bar for that kind of show. But it brought in viewers that were, well, I might watch this, and then over time there was fame for fame's sake and people who do nothing and the fascination with that and their brands in themselves. But it's got to a point where viewers want to be entertained. They're watching television and they're making a call. It's got to a point where they want to actually watch people who they can admire for their skill. It's actually come to a point where you have real life people being celebrated. So I mean, often you'll have, this is the kind of thing you'd never have seen on television in the past. But it's the kind of thing your friend might say, I have a friend who restores things, or he's got this amazing job, and can you believe this? We've got to the point where we're celebrating and watching, and viewers are choosing to be entertained by real life characters. I think it's a great thing for people in general. It's wonderful that we have these real life authentic people that are being celebrated for the right reasons, if you like.
Yep.
So,
Sorry, no, I mean, I think you said it best. It's like, it's almost, reality at some point was extraordinary people, when you get to celebrity reality, right? It's extraordinary people doing ordinary things, right? You could say, right? And listen, we have some celebrity reality vehicles, Truth in Advertising, and we think we're all right at that as well. Or I shouldn't be modest, we were good at that as well. But I think the flip side is really what you're looking at now, which is ordinary people, relatable people doing extraordinary things.
Yes. You've nice soundbite. I like that. So that's effectively where we're at, and that's more of an evolution of TV. Sure, it's factual entertainment, but we've evolved to this, and now this is where it's at. I think it's an evolution of the kind of TV that viewers are voting with their remotes. They're watching this, and that's why we're so excited, because we've got the benefit of this kind of content being sort of perfected, if you like, by A&E networks, and we've been able to stand back and go, you know what, we're going to put this all on one channel and see how that rolls, And we're really excited, and bring it on,
Now, from a television delivery mechanism, we know that it's absolutely, I agree, it's the golden age. There's lots of money being invested, and we're getting some amazing content come out.
Great time to be the viewer.
Absolutely, and that even sits into the way that we consume television. Gone are the days where the only way you would watch telly is to sit down with the schedule, and if you don't watch it at 7 o'clock or 8:30, miss the show. Or maybe you might have had your video recorder to record that and watch it later. Now we've got PVRs and IQs and all sorts of things. And then there's the online catch-up opportunities. Or the fact that people may, for whatever reason, choose to access television through torrents or something like that. I mean, is that sort of thing having much of an impact, do you think, in television now? Or is that going to be a thing to come in that we'll pick up our smartphone or tablet device and that's our television rather than the big screen event in the home?
Well, I mean, I think the answer is kind of yes and yes, right? Which is, I'd say it's having an impact now. It's impacting our thinking. It's impacting viewing patterns. It's impacting how we develop content and how consumers, viewers, or users consume it. And I think the second yes is it's going to continue to dramatically change and increasingly change our business over the next 5 or 10 years. So, I mean, it is undeniable that viewers are, it's cliche, but that viewers are demanding content whenever, wherever, however they can, they want it.
I don't think that's a cliche, though, Sean. I think that's just, it's reality, and this is where we've developed.
You're right. You're right. I mean, it's just anytime, and so whether it's me on my trip, the long flight over, our long flight over, and downloading a bunch of content onto my iPad so I can catch up the shows with the shows that I want to watch, or whether it's someone here on IQ, season linking IRT Deadliest Roads or Dog the Bounty Hunter. Look, it is a reality that people are consuming in a different way, and they're
multi-screen, multi-platform. These are the rights we pursue. This is where we want Foxtel as a brand to permeate across all of these things. I think fast forward the atomic clock here, they're going to invent, everything's going to morph. You'll have all of these providers, and there'll be a set of technology. I don't think viewers will ever want to replace that cinema experience at home, but they'll have the luxury to have their own, move their own experience to suit themselves. I do think people have been calling the death of TV and doomsays. TV's healthier than ever.
Yeah, people are watching more than ever.
And also this lean forward and surfing the net. I think people like to experience. This is why brands are important, because people can still have the water cooler conversation, because a brand is providing them with the content that they can all experience. It's like the weather. How hot was it today? Everyone experienced it. There's no point in having all these sort of personal, disparate. All people are affected by one experience. So I don't think that'll go away. It's just a question of how the technology will present it even more conveniently for all those who want to enjoy it.
I want to build. Before you jump in, I want to build on something you just said about the kind of importance of brands and becoming, or being at least as important as they are today. One of the things that I think we can all point to that's happening right now is that you have what a lot of people have talked about is the democratization of content production. And there's more content, there's more choices than ever. It's a byproduct of what we were just saying, the golden age of television, right? There's a bunch of good stuff out there, and there's a lot of not so good stuff out there, right? And one of the interesting things that happens is, and that I don't think anybody has fully conquered yet, is navigation, right? So you have these thousands and even more than that of hours of content. You've got all these different experiences, all these different platforms, and so we believe that brands become curation, and brands and kind of guides or cues, as humans need those things, as particularly when we're thinking about consuming entertainment and so on, with limited time in your day and so on, and limited energy. You need cues, you need brands, you need, especially as navigation, and user interfaces aren't fully there. So whether it's Foxtel, or whether it's A&E, or whether it's history or what have you, these things, and whether it's on linear or non-linear usage on a VOD or season link on IQ or what have you, you need these cues. Brands are going to be even more important in this kind of, in a very scattered, multifaceted, complex is the word I'm looking for, complex new world. So that's, it's a little bit, it's a little lofty, but I think it places a premium on talented programmers and brand marketers like the Foxtels, and I'd like to say like the A&E networks of the world.
I was going to pick up on something that you touched on, Jim, and really that's looking at the way that technology and television continue and will develop and affect how we watch and what we do with it. Social television, absolutely, or socialised television, is absolutely something that is, I don't think it's reached its peak, but more and more networks are starting to feel, how can we harness that, or how can we develop and use that for our brand or to promote our product? What's happening with A&E around socialised television, and what about globally?
Well, just quickly, we launched Facebook yesterday, and we woke up this morning with 700 plus Facebook followers.
The channel hasn't even launched yet.
Yeah, it hasn't launched, and sure, there was a reference on Triple M, but there is huge interest here. It's another way to sort of harness that interest. It's a great barometer to see how you're going. Twitter is something we're going to look into as well. You cannot deny the appetite there is for this aspect of media. People are consuming, people are watching television, looking at their Facebook, Twittering. This is where we're headed. And I would say that A&E in the US are well across this compared to us, but this is new for my group, and undeniably I've asked that we're right across it from the beginning here, because it's certainly what our viewers, and last night, it's only 12 hours, there's 700 people. It was quite incredible to me to understand that there's so many people so ready from a very small reference. Going forward, it could have huge potential.
Yeah, I would just say, when you talk about social media and the use of those tools, whether to market or engage with customers, viewers, or have viewers create community around those viewers, really critical for our content, especially for the real life character-based content. Just a couple of like highlights or flashpoints. In India, we launched a history channel, I believe it was 3.5 months ago, and we're nearing 500,000 Facebook friends of the channel. Right, so there's 500,000 people that are interacting with the channel on Facebook, and the channel is now, of course, India, very large place, lots of folks. But let me gives you an idea. And then in the States, where we've had channels a whole lot longer than 3 months, really, whether it's Facebook, whether it's our websites, which are really deeper, more immersive experiences in a genre well beyond the shows and so on, or whether it's, as you said, Twitter and others, it's a very important tool in the marketing mix, and it's beyond that, it's a very important way for us to kind of build and maintain a community around our brands.
Do you guys jump on during some of the shows and keep an eye on what's being said, and just personally, let alone the formal people responsible for it?
I will do. I haven't at this stage.
Yeah, I think you've just put them on notice. So there's an assignment.
Channel's not happening yet. I've got another 24 hours.
A little bit of time later.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, in the States, we monitor this pretty actively for business, and personally, yes. I mean, I think I wouldn't say I was one of the earliest adopters, but I think the advent, I am one of those that I have my laptop, I've got my mobile phone, I've got my BlackBerry that I'm kind of monitoring for various gym emails, and then there's a whole lot in the mix, I think, for a lot of viewers now, which makes it kind of pretty exciting, because there's a lot of different ways to talk to and be talked to by viewers during the shows and after the shows and before and so on.
It's a great engagement opportunity, isn't it, for not only the people that are responsible ultimately for the product, but the people that make the individual shows, and then the stars themselves that have been immersed and grown out of that.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's one of these, like, and it's going to sound really cliche, but it's one of these like kind of virtuous circles, right? You have all the participants from different vantage points in a show, in the brand and so on, that can kind of participate as part of this community, which historically, I think TV as a medium has been, it's by definition, it's broadcasting to, it's talking at or to, right? And so I think, in addition to, we spent a large part of this conversation talking about really connecting with the everyman or every woman, for that matter, connecting, authenticity of experiences, relatability of characters, ordinary people doing extraordinary things. Well, so you have that more emotional connection, and then you have a more this circle that is like kind of more practical and in a sense physical or tangible connection and more frequent connection than simply just I show up to see a show once a week kind of thing. So it's just really interesting. It's the word I like is ecosystem. It's you creating this like ecosystem and this kind of this tangible community around something, which you have never had before. Add a really relatable kind of connection, popular things, and it's really, I think it's exciting for everybody, not just the folks at the network or not just the producers or the stars. It's just you're part of something bigger. I guess that would be the line for me. You're part of something bigger.
Look, totally reasonable, guys. We've barely even touched on the fact that with A&E launching the HD channel, that's a real point of difference for Foxtel, getting that kind of content HD into people's homes when free-to-air are really not really sure how to deliver or know what they're going to deliver in that way. So that's a great benefit to Foxtel subscribers.
Absolutely. Look, we have a much bigger high-definition offering than any of the free-to-airs, and that needs to be said straight up.
Yep.
Once you have the IQ box, you have access to all those channels, and there's a potential for 3D. These guys do the best 3D. I've already bought some 3D in the last 12 hours, and I'll announce that later. But this is what we can offer. The networks cannot do 3D, so like we can. So we're really excited. Potential is huge.
Yes.
And thank you for such a good interview. Really.
No, look, appreciate it, guys. Jim Buchan, Sean Cohan, thank you, guys. Certainly there's at least 700 people looking forward to the launch of A&E.
Yeah.
But bring it on Thursday night on Foxtel. It starts with Mega Truckers, John Kelly and the team. It's going to be great. Thank you, guys.
Very exciting. Thank you.